Live. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Full Sem podcast. This is actually our very first live episode we've ever done. It's an interesting one for our first live, but
You're
I want
making
to.
history.
We're making history. We have Steiny here, and I want to welcome Bassem Youssef to the
Hi.
Full Sem podcast. Thank you for being with us. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course. Obviously, last week was controversial for us, to say the least. We had someone on the podcast, very controversial, as I said, to say it in the least form. What was your reaction when you saw that we had Benjamin Netanyahu on the Full
Well,
Sem
well
podcast?
I didn't know about what's. I am sorry to say, like because I'm not your demographic, so I didn't know who the NELK Boys is. But like I found my DMs exploding. It's like, did you see what the NELK Boys did? It's like, who the fuck are the NELK Boys? And then I didn't know that you're that big. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not your targeted demography, so I apologize for my ignorance. So and then I started following what's going on and the aftermath. And being in the public eye for 15 years, I understand what does it mean to be in a very tough situation, and now having to try to crawl out of that situation. It's difficult, especially with the backlash, because the bigger you are, the bigger the backlash. And well, I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of people when they knew that I'm on the podcast, like, yeah, go there, do them, have them. And I said, like, there's nothing to gain from just canceling people without knowing what went wrong, because I think it is better to actually to learn from what's happening and look at the bigger picture instead of just like destroying two young people like you, because that doesn't serve anybody, right? It makes people happy that you guys are falling, but the bigger picture is, why did this happen, and why was this were you used? A part of you is your responsibility, and part of you not knowing. So I heard many of the justification that happened, saying that well, it was a great opportunity, and I'm like, wouldn't you like get him on the podcast? I said, yes. If somebody told me, would you interview Netanyahu? It's like, hell yeah, but I'll be prepared. And I think the biggest part of you, that you were not prepared. 2 years under like the biggest genocide in our history, you guys had no idea what's going on. If somebody told me, hey, you're gonna be tomorrow on the starting five of the Lakers in the NBA, it's like, that's a great opportunity, but I'm not prepared. I'm not gonna make a fool out of myself. So it's not about you platforming someone or someone giving a chance for like free speech. You were used, right? And it didn't start with the podcast. It started 2 years ago in March 2023 when you went to Israel, because I know, like I told you, that the Israel has increased their Hasbara budget, which is their propaganda machine, with $150 million, and part of that money goes to influence people in college campuses, hire influencers like you, getting them into fancy trips to Israel, giving them this filtered, layered picture that is made up, it is fake. I mean, I watched it yesterday and I was cringing, because not because like you're showing how cool Israel is or they have
You're
nightclubs.
saying our NELK video in
Yeah, yeah,
Israel?
yeah, yeah. So because when the part when you mentioned Palestine, do you remember? We're going to a place that is so dangerous now. Palestine. And then you are in a bus, and then like special forces come in and kidnap you, and this kind of like IDF simulation, counterterrorism. And then they're telling you, we have a dog that only breeded in Israel. It can kill a man. And you understand that like the kind of psychopathic behavior of a country that like tells you, like, part of its like tourist attraction, that we're killing terrorists and we're breeding dogs to kill human beings. And by the way, I don't know, part of the anger is like, just last year there was like a kid with autism and Down syndrome that was killed by one of these dogs. And then the next scene is, let's go and see Palestinian family. And the only Palestinian family in this video are just like a bunch of Bedouins in a tent, a guy who's married two wives, and he tells you, my whole life is about camels and goats and chicken. And then you find like a 60 years old one, I just live on pita bread and milk. So even if October 7th didn't happen, you were used in a propaganda machine to tell people, this is what you need to know about Palestinians. They're just like a bunch of people with cows and goats, marrying two people, living in a tent, happy with the pita bread and milk. So you were recruited in March 2023, and you were activated in July 2025, right? So, and I'm saying this because I'm saying this out there for all of the influencers around there, because there's a lot of people got backlash. There's influencers went there like wearing IDF. It's like we didn't know what we're going on. Like he was like, I didn't know I'm kissing a Jewish
I
wall.
mean, yeah, I can definitely admit that. I mean, I think we were both just ignorant to what was going on over there. And obviously, I knew he was, I'll be honest, I thought he was controversial, but I was definitely ignorant to what was going on in that area. And I can
Yes.
admit that. And it was definitely, I wish we could have gone back and,
Yeah.
had 2 weeks to sit down with someone like yourself and just, we should have grilled him 50,000, 100,000 times harder, but
Yeah.
something we can't get back. And we'll probably always regret
Of
that.
course, but I know you can't get back this like trip in Israel, but I'm just telling you, this was like part of a much bigger propaganda effort, right? And a country that spends $150 million on its image, they are covering something. They when they spread all of these propaganda, it's like we're not starving people in Gaza. You understand that this conversation has been happening for 2 years. First of all, I'm not absolving you from your trip. You guys are not little kids. You are fucking 30 years old, right? People in your age have families and they have a career, and you need to stop. I'm just saying this because you're my little brothers, but you're not little,
No.
right? You need to stop infantilizing yourself. It's like we're just stupid people doing stupid stuff. You're 30 years old and you need to be aware of what's happening in the world, and that your reach and your platforms mean something and it affects people. And I think the biggest reason why people were so upset for you, not because you brought someone and you didn't contest him, that it is the talking point that he used is the same talking points that have been used for 2 years to kill thousands of people, right? So, but I mean, and part of the people, part of the reason why people were so angry is that, forget even if you don't know anything about the conflict, there was like a total lack of critical thinking. I mean, you guys asked him the one good question when you told him in October 7th, how could this be allowed to happen? Everybody knowing that Mossad is like a crazy intelligent thing that infiltrates people and put bombs in pages. How did you not see that coming? But also, a critical thinking is how come an attack was allowed for 6 hours in the most heavily surveilled part in the world? You understand, like in 2019, they killed like tens, hundreds of people just because they approached the wall between Gaza and Israel. You understand? They killed. You have like copters, like drones. You have snipers. Suddenly, for 6 hours, you remember what Netanyahu told me? How big is Israel? He told me it's like as big as Rhode Island.
As Jersey, right?
Yeah, like it. You understand the distance between Gaza and Tel Aviv is 44 miles. You understand that like he was just bragging to you that like, hey, we went across 3 countries to bomb Iran, but you can't have a single helicopter coming out to defend your people. Like the October 7th was used in order to tell people, look to the Jewish people that were killed. But you don't understand that you pay $1 million as Americans, as Canadians, to protect those Jewish people. So it's not just like an intelligence failure. It was a deliberate way to let people get slaughtered. And what did he tell you when you asked him what happens? Like, we're still investigating it. Really investigating it for 2 years? You don't know how people for 6 hours continued to kill people? That's why when we went on other people podcasts and they told you, guys, they used the Hannibal Directive. They killed their own people. And I sent you all of the stuff. What was your reaction? Dude, that's conspiracy. Again, people were angry because you didn't read what's going on there, right? Israel uses something called blitzkrieg. You know what's blitzkrieg? It means flash attack. This is the Nazi did. They do like a very coordinated attack, very quickly, very fast. It's like very simple messaging. Decapitated babies, mass rape, right? So there's an emotional response. People get so angry, and then after a couple of days, everybody goes back to their Netflix, to their UFC fight, to the NBA, and the people who stay, it's like, wait a minute, that is fucked up. That didn't happen. There's so many plot holes already. Most of the people has already went back to their lives. So the people who stay and hold them accountable will be called fringe, obsessed, anti-Semitic, conspiracy theory. Like you said, oh, dude, this is conspiracy theory. It's not. And this is why I have like sent you all of the videos so you can be educated. When you were on the podcast and they were telling you, dude, they spit on Christians in Israel. It's like, I was in Israel, nobody spit on me. Yes, of course, because you were in a curated propaganda machine that showed you one thing about Israel. Do you remember when you were like in that bus and there was a guy with a scarf? It's like, oh, that guy with a scarf, like that. I don't know if you or someone of your friends said, he looks suspicious. It's not that cold. So the only representation of Palestinian are either people staying in a tent or a suspicious guy with a scarf. And I don't know who edited that. If it seemed like Mossad edited it, but and if you guys have edited that is fucked up because it just like it solidifies the same racist tropes about a group of people that being slaughtered and starved to death right now, and then they distract you with questions like it is Hamas, it's the people, they're not allowing aid in, and you understand that this is the same exact conversation that's been happening for 2 years. They bomb hospitals. It's not us. It's Hamas. Oh, it's us. But there were Hamas underneath it. It's maybe a mistake. Then after bombing hospital, they bomb schools. And then they bomb entire residential areas. Then they kill women and children. And now, 2 years later, we're discussing the same question, but like, are we starving them or is it Hamas starving them? You see the cycle of deceit, the cycle of lies, the cycle of propaganda. So that's why I'm not coming here to say like, oh, they are starving, because I'm not gonna go after each and every single lie that he said because it's exhausting, and they have been doing that for 2 years. So I'm here to show you the patterns and the bigger picture to understand that you are sitting with a narcissistic, psychopathic liar that's used to gaslighting people and lie them to them in their faces.
Yeah, I want to say too. Yeah, we obviously, one thing that hurt me the most when we had him on was just, I have a lot of personal, friendships and stuff from people of all religions, and a lot of people were obviously just upset, and they were messaging me personally, like friends, and saying, "Why did you have him on?" and stuff. So when I told them that we are having you on to explain us the bigger picture, they were all very excited. So honestly, we just want to learn about this, and we obviously just want to use our platform to educate people.
What do you
So
want to learn about?
I mean, I think it would just be good for you to talk about what Netanyahu said and explain us.
Well, one thing I said about the October 7th, like, he, and I like the, not just October 7th, is the way that he dehumanized the whole population. Remember when he told me, how can young people march in the streets with people who kill gays? And then he used this like overplayed, lame jokes like gays for Gaza is like chicken core for KFC. And it's just like, keeps saying it in everywhere, and he just like, it sounds stupid. And they tell me they are like they would kill women if they're not in hijab. So this guy who pretends that he cares about gays and women, and I send you the articles, like how they have actually used revenge porn in order to recruit gay people. They go into Grinder and Facebook and Instagram. Like I think you have the
The
headlines.
IDF goes on
Yeah,
Grinder.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They got and they actually pick those gay people, and then they use revenge porn in order to hire them as informants. You have that?
Whoa.
Yes. So over the past several months, I spoke to there's a lot of queer Palestinians that actually been used by the IDF in order to actually hire them as informants. And then the same guy who cares about women and children, he already killed more than 28,000 women and children in the less than a year and a half. And again, they use revenge porn. There's even a movie about it, made by like an Oscar-nominated director. He's a Palestinian, and it's called Hoda Salon. And they talk about like how for very many years they have spiked women's drinks in beauty salons in order to shoot them and film them in compromised position, and then use them or use their husbands as informants. So you understand the level of pathology and the level of narcissistic behavior, the level of evil these people are doing. And then they have the audacity to come and talk about gay people and talk about women. This is crazy, man. You understand? And when I went and I sent you that stuff in order to you to look and verify. And this is why the reason we're doing this in live, because I invite anybody to fact check everything that I say as we go on.
So you're saying Israel is they're recruiting gay people from Palestine and using them as informants and
That's happening a
blackmailing
lot in
them?
the West Bank. Yes.
Well, so what about some of the stuff Netanyahu said? I know this is for you is probably basic, but what he said, we asked him if he was purposely starving people in Gaza, and he
Yeah.
said Hamas is stealing the food.
It's interesting that we would actually take the war of an indicted war criminal and a guy who's been caught lying many times. Like, for example, when he say Iran is days away from creating a nuclear bomb, and there's videos of the internet of him saying many times, "Oh, Iran is like 5 months away, 3 months away," and you understand. When you asked him about like Iraq, oh, he said, "Oh, that's unfortunate," and yet he has a video saying Iraq is month away of creating weapons of mass destruction.
I've
And you
seen that
remember,
video. I've seen the video of him talking about Iran
yeah.
for
So you
since the
see,
90s.
you see a guy that like, if you have a friend, Steiny, and you, if you have a friend that consistently lies to you and you caught up lying, when would it be enough to say, okay, that guy, I'm not gonna take anything he says? Now the thing about like him saying we're not starving, it's Hamas. There's also some of the articles that I send you. There is like multiple articles of Israel killing aid workers, UN workers, saying that they are Hamas. You know, they have killed over like I don't know the number, 100, 200 people of aid workers. They are like lining people in aid lines, and then they are killing them. When they tell you,
So people that are not even involved in the conflict, they're aid
yes,
workers.
I think the number is like they killed over 180 doctors, or it's the numbers is like so big now you can't even like catch up with the numbers. And I was in London. They were playing the world premiere of a documentary called Doctors Under Attack, and it shows you. It's a documentary done by the BBC, by the way. It shows you how. Oh, good. Oh, it's good there. Yeah.
Says over
So
400
yeah.
Palestinians
So
killed
and of
around
course it's
Friday
very
Gaza.
easy to say, oh, the United Nations is anti-Semitic. Everybody is anti-Semitic. Everybody is lying, and the only one who's not lying is Netanyahu, right? So those people that the
So like this one, for example, is this like a bombing or is this just like they're coming and like gunning them down?
they're gunning them down. They're using drones and killing them. There's even like a whistleblower that came a couple of days ago, who was working with the aid groups, and he said like, there's like a little kid who came and kissed our hands because we gave him food, and as he was walking away, the IDF shot him in the head. It's crazy, man.
And this
Right?
was like almost a month ago, not only,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And
so
400 people, those are civilians.
yeah, but that's that number gets updated by the minute right now, and it's you can just like you can go through the headlines if you want, but the reason I'm like showing you this is that Israel is the only one who has the absolute control of getting aid in and out. And I know that you've seen on the internet they're showing their soldiers. Here's the aid sitting here. The UN is not taking them. Dude, they are killing UN workers and calling them Hamas. If you start calling everybody Hamas, the doctors are Hamas, the kids are Hamas, the UN ordered Hamas, there is no way for people to go in and do anything. You see, you know how desperate people are? People are riding on boats and trying to get aid in these flotillas. And one of them is like a comedian that you worked with. His name is Jacob Berger. He's Jewish, by the way, from New York. And he was arrested by the IDF. And one of them, he's the
I
only
saw that.
and only one, the only black dude on that flotilla. He was beaten and tortured, and he's American, right? So you understand the level of psychopathy that you're dealing with. It's not about like our word against their word anymore, because they have all of these people activated like you. They try to recruit you, whether influencers or people in the media, telling it's like it's not starving, it's not happy, it's not our fault. You remember I told you before, it's the same argument they used before. They bombed every single hospital in Gaza. It's not us, it's Hamas. They bombed every single school in Gaza. It's not us in Hamas. They killed 60,000 people. It's Hamas' fault. You see the pattern? You see the pattern?
Hmm.
You know the most viral video I did with Piers Morgan is when I said like Israel is a narcissistic psychopath, like a boyfriend who fucks you over and makes you think their fault. You know why this like resonated with so many people? It's just because people know this is the narcissistic psychopathic behavior, right? So they are like a bunch of liars, a bunch of killers, a bunch of murderers, and it is, and then it's easy for them to just like get out of it and say like it is fucking Hamas.
So what is like the ideal situation in that area?
The ideal situation that Israel should not be coming in and occupying a country that's not theirs. And I know that you went there and you were raised all your life saying that this is our country, our place. You understand that Israel started by refugees from Europe, people who escaped the Nazis. This was a European problem. Most of those people were in Ukraine and Russia and Poland and Germany. And then they went through incredible hardship. Why would they come to the Middle East and take a land that belonged to other people? That is the core of the problem. The core of the problem is not just starvation or the daily killing. It is people coming in and trying to take a land from other people. And of course, you grew up as a Jewish person telling you this was an empty land and we just came in. There was no one there. There were already 2 million Arabs living there before Israel have even been conceived. And in one night, 700,000 people were displaced overnight on 15th of May 1948 when they declared the state of Israel. You understand the amount like your grandparents are like Holocaust survivors. They wouldn't like another Holocaust to be happening in their name, and they wouldn't. If you have a problem with Germany, go fucking take a piece of land from Germany, man. You understand like where my people are coming from? Like we were just sitting here and you have like a problem in Europe and then you were pushed on us and say like, this is our land now, get the fuck out. You understand how sick this is? You know how unfair this is? You understand? So we can discuss about like what is happening now, the situation. You need to go again, the bigger picture and understand why this happened, right? Those people Netanyahu sat in front of you and saying like, Hamas is terrorist. They are the one who actually started terrorism in the Middle East. They're one who started bombing hotels, bombing people. The amount like if you just like go in and write the terror and I invite the internet to actually fact check this, the terrorism of the Zionist militias in Palestine, right? The dozens of people that they have been killing. You know, the all of the stuff that they have been, they have like, you know, killing pregnant women, decapitated people. This is the exact same thing that they did in massacres like Deir Yassin, in Sabra and Shatila. They have been, you know, there's a very famous line saying like, every accusation is a confession. Every time they blame Hamas for using human shield, they are the one who's being using human shield, right? They're actually in 2005, the Israeli Supreme Court made a verdict saying you need to stop using human shield because they were using it so much. There's like a recorded 1,200 incidences of them using human shield between 2001 and 2005. That is crazy, man. Right? So every time you see them accusing Palestinians of doing it, they have done it many times before, even more brutal.
Yeah, one thing I see on the internet now too is a lot of Americans are questioning like is Israel our closest ally? Why are they our closest ally? Why are we sending so much money to Israel? I mean I see it. I mean even Trump now recently, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, it seems like he's not even agreeing with Netanyahu now. I saw Canada just recognize Palestine as a state.
Yeah,
So
but in the same time, Trump said like, well, I think like Canada couldn't be our partner anymore, which is crazy. You are basically sacrificing Canada, which is actually your closest ally, because of Israel.
well, what I was going to ask is why does America consider Israel its closest
No,
ally in your
America
opinion?
doesn't consider Israel the closest
Well,
ally.
why? The
It's the
question is
American
why is
politicians.
right. So why are the American politicians so loyal to Israel?
Well, follow the money, right? 80% of Congress are openly financed by AIPAC, which is the Israeli lobby. So when you finance 80% of your Congress, your representative, suddenly a foreign country is more important than your own country, right? I think you were asked many times, Tiny, are you American first or are you Israel first? And you said, no, I'm American first. You wouldn't like to have your tax money going to a country being and using that to kill children while your fellow Americans in places like Texas and North Carolina suffering from floods and not getting the aid they get. There is, I think, there is the graph for the $17 billion. Only, by the way, so far since the beginning of the conflict, not the conflict, the slaughter, since October 2023, America sent Israel more than $30 billion, $17.9 billion in 2024 alone. $17 billion. That's crazy. You know how many schools that you can build with that? You know how many teachers that you can pay? You know how many houses that you can give for the homeless? Why is your money going to a foreign country and using this to inflict the most evil genocide on innocent people? Right?
Right. So what's the why do you think that American politicians are
No, I'm just
yeah.
told you because
Yeah.
of the money. Like the APAC,
Oh, because they're being paid to do so.
APAC is openly bragging about financing 80% of Congress with $100 million for
Do
each
they
side.
openly brag about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I invite everybody to go into the APAC Twitter and see them bragging about it. It's like 98% of the people that that we promote, they win their elections. And this is the graph that I was telling you about. The U.S. sent $17.9 billion in only 2024. This is how much you can do with that amount of money. And instead, it is going to buy weapons. It's going to settlers in the West Bank, American Jews, maybe Jews from other places who live there with like very low rent housing. They have better education, better health care than any American here, which is crazy. Why is my money going there? I know, Steiny, I saw you on many of the podcasts saying like it is very difficult for me as a Jewish American living there, and I understand it's difficult, but it was misunderstood because people said this is so tone deaf, this is so self-centered, it's not about you guys. But I kind of understood it I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt that maybe it is difficult because there's a whole genocidal state right now using your identity and using your religion in order to commit unspeakable crimes, right? But also, you need to understand what does it mean to be a Palestinian American right now. You understand how difficult it is to a Palestinian American sitting here, seeing his family slaughtered and starved, and that is being done by their own tax money. Can you imagine? Can you imagine like you sending money to your family to, for example, build a bakery, and then you see that bakery destroyed on phone, and then TurboTax takes your money and finance the bomb that fucking bombed that bakery. You understand the kind of mind fuck that those people are living in? Like, yes, anti-Semitism is a real thing, but you understand that it is you haven't seen 3 Jewish people being shot because they spoke Hebrew, right? I have 3 Palestinian friends. They were in Brown University. They were speaking Arabic and they were shot, and one of them cannot walk for the rest of his life, right? There was like a Palestinian kid, 6 years old, who was stabbed 26 times right after October 7th because of the kind of fear that was launched against Muslim Americans, right? There was like an Indian Muslim kid that was almost drowned in Texas by a Jewish woman. Her name is Elizabeth Wolf, as a hate crime. If the roles were reversed, if those kids were Jewish, you wouldn't hear the end of it. But I'm telling you this, and I can see in your eyes, it's the first time you ever heard about this. This is crazy. This is manufactured. So part of me is angry at you guys for not knowing, but part of me, I have empathy for you because this is the kind of a bubble that was created intentionally by the media to tell you that all the perpetrators, the people on the other side, are the terrorists, they are the evil people, and Israel is our greatest ally. This is prime brainwashing. So you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you say like it's difficult to be Jewish, yes, I understand, but it is kind of like you are.
I think it's I can't speak for Steiny, but I have other Jewish friends, and what they'll say to me is what Israel's doing right now makes it tougher to be prideful of, being Jewish.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is
I don't
that,
wanna speak for
no,
Jewish
no,
people,
but you understand. But you see, the mistake here is like now you're linking being Jewish to being pro-Israel. It's like me linking being Muslim to being pro-ISIS. It's like being proud to be German to be a Nazi, because that is what Israel is, right? And it is this is a regime, a state, a genocidal state that hijacked your identity as Jewish and then started to tell everybody, if you start to question Israel, you're being anti-Semitic. You know what does that tell you? That being a good Semitic means that you have to approve for starving kids, killing babies, raping prisoners in prison, genociding a whole population, kicking them out. That is what does it mean to be a good Jewish. That is crazy, man. That is actually the most anti-Semitic thing
Do you
ever.
think, in your opinion, do you think what Israel's doing is making some people anti-Semitic though?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Let me give you an example. Have you seen those videos of the IDF soldiers dancing with lingeries and toys of babies? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Any army in the world is run by one thing: discipline, right? You If you are in the army and you start posting shit like that, your commanders are either allowing you to do this, or if they don't, they will actually what the fuck are you doing, right? Because this is the army, right? You're not allowed to just like post shit other than actually the army kind of approving to it. So it is by design. I asked a professor in London, it's like, why are they actually doing that on purpose? Like, it's very easy, because it is much easier for Israel to be hated and then having them conflate that hate with Jewish people. And when that happens, like, you see, anti-Semitism give us more money to kill our enemies. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very sick psychology. And the people who are paying for this are Jewish people, right? Because now you are finding yourself inheriting everything that this regime is doing, right? And it is the whole idea about like being a Jewish person is being a pro-Israel. It's crazy, right? You know, like a couple of days ago, Trump pushed Colombia to pay $21 million for support the Jewish people for the psychological trauma. And it's crazy because we haven't heard of Jewish people being expelled from Colombia. There are people who lost their immigration status for standing pro-Palestine, not pro-Israel. There's not a single Israeli who, because of his stand from being pro-Israel, who lost their job, got deported, have being blacklisted with the company, being doxxed. This is what happened on their side. And many of those, and the Jewish people who actually got hurt were the people on the pro-Palestinian side. There are like Jewish professors who lost their position because they stood with the pro-Palestinian side. But they don't talk to you about that. They want you to think it is Jewish people against everybody else. They don't talk to you about the Jewish Voices for Peace, the people who their slogan is "Not in my name." We will not allow Israel to use our name in order to continue with this genocide. They are not telling you about the Israeli blog that was in all of the university protests, or in all of the protests in London and in Paris and in New York. They want to, again, the same image that they were created in Israel, the way that they use that propaganda in order to blind you of what's happening. They're not telling you about the other side. So they keep putting you in that box. It is Jewish people against everybody else. It is not true.
Talking about patterns, like you said earlier, some of the documents you sent us that I found interesting was just the history dating back of how long Israel has been influencing America's government.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about some of that?
Yeah, well, it's you have a lobby group called APAC, which should, under American law, be registered as a foreign entity, a foreign lobby group, but it's not, and because of its mention, it is registered as local. It is allowed to raise so much money and act as a local lobbying group, right? And because of that, they are allowed to openly uh, pay all of these politicians in order to write bills and to pass laws to protect Israel more than they protect the United States, right? And people will say, this is conspiracy theory. Are you telling us that Israel is controlling America? It's not really a conspiracy theory, because if you think about it, a country is run by a government and government is run by people. And if you buy enough people, you control the government. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
Am I
I mean,
right?
if not just
Yeah.
Israel, if any government was doing that, it would be a problem,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, and I send you even a video of like American senators and congressmen having the Israeli flag outside of their room. They are tweeting, I stand with Israel, while there are people suffering from floods in North Carolina. There is like a town in Texas that made people sign a pledge to not boycott Israel if they want to have flood aid, which is crazy, right? If I told you, hey, your house was destroyed in the floods, why don't you write a pledge to make sure that you will not boycott Egypt? You will get furious, right? So why is this allowed to happen, man? Why is this allowed to happen? Why is every congressman, every media person is just going there and putting Israel in such like a high place over his own country? If this is not treason, I don't know what it is. Like, do you Steiny, you pay taxes, right? You guys like doing well for yourself.
Yeah.
Would you accept that your taxes to go to support like a foreign country instead of like supporting your own American fellows, like going into the infrastructure of your own country?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like the bigger picture here, that the system is much more broken than you think. It's not about like me going after every single lie that Netanyahu said. It's about giving you the bigger picture of how this is a very curated, a very oh yeah, this is American Israel. Yeah.
What's
this? This is how much money that they have spent and given $51 million in contribution.
To Israel or Israel?
No,
to
no, no, no.
America?
This is APAC to American politicians. This is how much, like, this is the kind
And where's
that,
this from?
uh,
just-
this is American Public Affairs. Yeah.
is there any type of other I mean, when Russia was doing it, everyone thought they were doing it. to
Yeah,
influence everyone.
so I
through a
remember,
fit,
like, you know,
right?
it's like, oh, the Russian interference. Like, guys, like, you don't even need it. And people say it's a conspiracy, but like, you don't need a conspiracy. You have people opening. They're basically, we're giving you $100 million, give me back $30 billion. That's the best. That's better than crypto, man. I mean, I would invest in APAC. If APAC was a Bitcoin, I would invest in it. Right.
What else does Israel do to influence America's government
Well,
in the past?
uh,
I mean, this is like some deep shit.
since
I'm
the-
kind of honestly scared to talk about it.
no,
I'll be
why
honest,
talk
but-
about it? Don't worry. It's good.
Oh, I know. I just we're in a unique situation. right?
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about?
No, just like I mean, I've seen some of the documents you've talked about, like
Give me an example.
blackmailing and
Oh, the blackmailing. It's yeah. I mean, like a lot of people are talking about the Epstein files right now, right? What do you think about the Epstein files?
I think it's not a good look. What's going on right now?
Why?
Just because I think the Republicans kind of ran on releasing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think there's clips of people in the administration saying we need to release it,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's not getting released. So
And
it's not
have you
the best look.
Have you been reading about, like, Ghislaine Maxwell, the one that was with him, and then she was like a kind of like 100% Mossad asset, and then you have Kash Patel, the FBI director, who's saying like, America needs to wake up and prioritize Israel. And I said, like, why is the FBI, the deputy of the head of the FBI, telling me that I, as an American, need to prioritize Israel? I mean, you see the pattern. You see how fucked up this is, right? And then before he goes into the FBI, we're gonna release the Epstein file. After that, there is no Epstein files, and in the middle, we need to prioritize Israel. You
I
connect
think
the
they
dots.
need to release it because it's not a good look.
Yeah, but you understand the fact that you have a country in the Middle East not just taking your money, but blackmailing your politicians, including your presidents. You've seen that article that I sent you at the time of Israel about the Monica Lewinsky thing and the Bill Clinton thing. I mean, this is crazy. That's why it just like it drives me crazy when I
Can you explain that to our audience?
yeah. So there's a book.
The history to me is fascinating.
Yeah, there's like a book written by an Israeli author, and it was actually discussed. It was headlines in the time of Israel of how actually Israel have blackmailed Bill Clinton with the Monica Lewinsky tape in order for him to release an Israeli spy who actually stole our nuclear secrets and sent it to America. Yeah. So it is things like that which drives me crazy when people tell me Israel is our biggest ally. An ally will not do that to you. An ally will not steal your nuclear weapons, will not blackmail your presidents with whatever files they have, with sexual files in order to release a spy, will not blackmail your politicians with a fucking Love Island with young girls. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Why do you think they allowed him to campaign on that so hard then?
What do you mean?
Like, why would they? Because Trump campaigned on
Yeah.
that he was going to release it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's a good
maybe
question.
maybe he didn't know that they had something on him. Maybe they thought that like everything was on Clinton. Maybe he didn't know. And then like we have Elon Musk saying, well, he's in the files, and Bear's like, oh no, I'm not in the files. And that Pat Bundy's like, I have the files on my desk, and then suddenly we don't have the files. Makes you think, right? And like Trump was asked straight up, would you release the Epstein files? It's like, well, it can destroy a lot of people's life. Yeah, well, if they're pedophiles, yes, fucking destroy their lives. It's just like it's as an like I come from the Middle East, and in the Middle East we complain a lot about like how the government is corrupt, and then I come here to the Western world where like everything is transparent, and I just like find the same exact attitude of gaslighting on of lying, and 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 I found I was like, oh my god, I'm actually in a country that's being controlled by like horrible people in Israel. Yeah, here's a nice like a nice tidbit. Do you know that Israel has the one of the highest rates of sex offenders in the entire world, and many of them are Jewish Americans who actually
Is
are.
that a fact?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can actually
Like per capita?
yeah, no, you can actually right now. You can. There's a CBS report about sex offenders fleeing from Israel. These are people who get indicted in America. They have a conviction and they flee. Do you see it? Oh yes. How Jewish American pedophiles hide from justice in Israel. This is on CBS. You don't have to play it, but like I'm just I don't want to like kind of like stop the interview. I just want people that they reference it. So there's like tens of people who basically get
Yeah, no high end ads here.
yeah to who get like indicted for actually like being pedophiles, and they go hide in Israel, and Israel doesn't bring you back because like they're protected by their Israeli passport. So this is the bigger picture that I'm telling you. When you are on, this is one of the things that we're taking against you. There's no two sides for it. One side is a genocidal, pedophile enabling, blackmailing liars who are starving people to death, who are killing women and children. And that is the side, right? So that is why it's like it's being very icky right now to even give a platform for them to spread their fucking lies.
Right.
Because this is the kind of lies that's been actually hurting and killing people over 2 years. So you understand? So if
Yeah,
I told
mean,
you, hey,
I'm not an expert still, but
no,
what I've even learned just
yeah,
with the stuff you've sent and what I've learned over the last week.
so you understand, like I'm all of that. I'm trying to understand to make you understand the level of hate and anger that was directed towards you, because basically you're supporting a pedophile. You're supporting a guy that is actually blackmailing people. You're supporting a guy who's a killer, right? That guy, Netanyahu, who seems to be caring about women. There's a huge scandal in Israel that was unraveled in 2013, that for more than 2 decades, Israel gave contraceptive shots to Ethiopian Jewish women to prevent them from reproducing. And this was
How? Like, how'd they, like,
yeah, they're gonna pull it up right now. So basically, they were giving contraceptive shots for them in order to prevent them because they were like black Jewish people. And Benjamin Netanyahu was in the cabinet, and they apologized in 2013. Apologize? How can you apologize for something like that, right? Okay, do you have it? Yeah. Ethiopian immigrants in Israel received contraceptive shots without their consent. And you can find it also in Time of Israel. You can find it in
how'd they do that?
that well they would kind of like get them into like routine gynecological tests, and then they would
And then
just
just
like,
bang?
yeah, bang, yeah, and they didn't know what they were being injected with. And this continued from 1998 to 2013, and when it was found out, it was a huge scandal, and Benjamin Netanyahu was in the cabinet. So I'm just telling you, I'm like, if I start
You know
to
what it is? I think some of this shit's so dark
yes,
that you almost don't want to believe it.
exactly,
I think that's part of the problem.
it's
Like
that
when you say something like that, my initial reaction is like,
this is a
I don't
conspiracy.
want to believe it. Not a
Yeah.
conspiracy. I don't want to believe it because it's like, it's scary how fucked up that would be
Yeah.
if it was true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why I didn't want this interview to saying like, "Hey guys, you fucked up. You're terrible people. Look what you did." and I didn't want to just chase every single lie that Netanyahu says because it's exhausting. I just wanted you to understand the level of psychopathy that this regime is, right? Because today's starvation, yesterday is killing, tomorrow is going to be something else. And it's going to be the same exact loop of discussion. We didn't do it. It's Hamas. It's propaganda. It's like, dude, come on. These are professional
Can I ask you a
liars.
question that I actually just want to understand? It might be
Please.
a dumb question, but like,
No.
what, like, in your opinion, what role does Hamas play? Like, do they need to be completely removed from Gaza?
Well,
or
again,
like,
this is the kind of the questions that are used in order to distract you from the biggest thing, right? Because
I'm just trying to learn.
No,
that.
no, no. I understand, but again, we're doing bigger picture
Yeah.
now, right? You have to understand that this all started by people coming from a different country, going into a different country, killing everybody, taking their land. There will have to be resistance movement, whether you call these resistance movement terrorist, whether you like, I mean, Nelson Mandela was called a terrorist for 20 years of his life, right? He was called Nelson Mandela, who was like the beacon of liberation. He was classified by the American government as a terrorist, right? And people say terrorist because they don't want to get into trouble because they are classified by the FBI and by the CIA as terrorist groups. So people don't want to get into trouble. And then suddenly the conversation, oh, so you mean Hamas is not terrorist? So you support what they're doing? So you see, I'm just like giving you the bigger picture how these questions are used. And then now Hamas is not even an issue anymore. You went in and you destroyed a whole territory, displacing 2 million people, destroying every hospital, every school, every house. And now people are saying, Hamas, if there was no occupation, there will be no Hamas, there will be no resistance, right? And it's, I find it very funny that Netanyahu have openly admitted that he has emboldened Hamas in order to cause factions inside the Palestinian movement, so they will never have a Palestinian state. And you can Google that as I talk if you want.
so
Again,
purposely causing
yeah,
chaos.
yeah. You know, like how you kind of like, you know, finance people and other people in order to they have like an infighting. It's a very common technique, you know, like divide and conquer, you know. So, and this is why I don't want people to get reduced to asking smaller questions. When
I just know it's a question everyone asks.
no, 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 of course,
Yeah.
but the bigger question is that you have a genocidal regime using your money to continue with the killing, using your money in order to buy the media to make you continue being ignorant and not knowing what's going on. Yes.
Explain this to us more.
So,
this is interesting.
so this is basically for years Netanyahu. This is from the time.
What
of
is what
Israel.
does it mean by it says Netanyahu propped up Hamas?
So basically, they would facilitate them having the stream of money in order to make them stronger and to kill any other liberal opposition or any kind of opposition inside to have like a different representation of the Palestinian people. It's very easy to have your enemy like and paint them as an Islamic terrorist. So you can, instead of trying to have a critical thinking of what's happening, it's like, oh, these are zombies. These are, you know, when you watch a movie of zombies, you don't want to understand about their motives. These are zombies. These are cannibals. These are like terrorists. So you don't spend time in trying to understand the conflict, and you just say like, okay, this is just like fucked up, right? So for example, when you were in interview and you were talking about New York, and it's like, oh, Mamdani, that guy is like anti-Semitic, right? Where does this come from?
Just stuff I see on X.
Yes, stuff you see on X, but you don't question why is he anti-Semitic, right? What did he say in and that's the one video that I want to play, guys. Is it the people running for the position of mayor in New York, right? You are a New Yorker, right? You're from New York?
No,
Where are you from?
Colorado.
Colorado. Okay, so let's say you are in New York, right? Okay, you're from Colorado. You want the people the people running for the governor of the governor of Colorado or the mayor of Denver to represent your interest, right? It would be very weird if people started saying, "I'm going to travel to a foreign country as my duties as mayor," right? It doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
So can you play this video, guys?
I wanted to actually say something about that because
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest issues right now is like even that that I made a mistake on is you see one thing posted and no one does a deeper dive. They just believe the first thing they see.
Absolutely. And
So-
it's flooding the internet. It is like when you say an X, your timeline is very, very, very curated, because like basically if you buy enough, if you spend enough money, that's what I'm telling you about Hasbro, right? Your timeline is full of the same exact stories about Mamdani being anti-Semitic, about Muslims are terrorists, about it's Hamas. So because it is,
Let's see this.
yeah. Okay, play this, please. That's fun.
Oh, we're doing a little.
So this
crop-
is
little
just to
crop
give
job.
it, to give people context before you play it. This is during the primary election for the mayor of New York. So basically, you have a pundit saying, like, it is how come a mayor of New York doesn't travel to Israel, and then the other candidates talking about how they feel about Israel. Can you play it, please?
Who travels to Israel?
These
Eric
are all the
Adams?
candidates of the mayor of New York. Candidates, yes. Go ahead.
Any mayor that can't say they will go to Israel someday as mayor should not be mayor.
Where would you go first?
The Holy Land.
Go to Israel.
Fourth trip to Israel. First trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
It is so offensive.
If you're wondering what kind of world considers
stop.
putting America first as offensive,
Okay, stop that. So you see, as an American, as a new American, because you guys were born here, I've been only an American for a few years, and I come to this, I have to ask myself, why is the mayor of a city in America have to visit a foreign country, and why is it frowned upon? It is offensive if you say, I'm going to stay in the city that I was voted for as mayor to serve its people. You understand the kind of like brainwashing
I mean, that
here?
clip's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But I don't know what else he stands for. I heard he's like a socialist too.
What? Okay, we can discuss about how is a socialist. That's a different discussion.
Yeah.
And you can
That clip's insane.
and you can say, I'm not gonna vote for Mamdani because of his economic view. That is quite fair. But to make it a point that he has to visit a foreign country, and if he doesn't, that is enough for disqualifying
No,
him, even
that's
from the
stupid,
discussion.
yeah.
That is
Why would
crazy.
a mayor need to visit a foreign country?
Thank you. And why is it like if you say
Like
that
a federal, that's different. But a mayor,
if you're staying to serve your people that voted for you, why are you being penalized? And it's offensive not to visit Israel. Why?
New York's got enough problems.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think like he is trying to serve his people, but he's being called anti-Semitic because he doesn't want to go to a foreign country. It's crazy, right?
There's got to be other reasons they're saying he's anti-Semitic.
I mean,
though.
like,
Correct, Bassem, or
no,
not?
what?
Is there other reasons they say he's anti-Semitic? It can't just be.
I mean, you tell me.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I haven't because it is the easiest thing. He's anti-Semitic. He's terrorist. He hate the Jews, and that's a conversation stopper. You know when you guys all about free speech, right? Imagine every time you try to tell a joke, that's racist. All right. Oh my God, that's so offensive. It's like, why? What did I say? And nobody will explain to you why is it racist. And nobody will explain to you why it's stupid. It's just like, and it's a way to intimidate people. If you start calling people anti-Semitic, it's just like anti-Semitism is dangerous, but it's not the only ism that matters, right? You cannot just like stop people's conversations like that's anti-Semitic. Where is that is anti-Semitic? That and you have to understand like
That's not.
Yeah, exactly. That's not when you have like, oh, he's a socialist. Then let's talk about what do you mean he's a socialist? What is it? And when he say like he's gonna do like affordable prices in supermarket, why is that socialist?
I'd have to look into it more.
Yes,
Again, I'm
exactly.
not-
So,
yeah.
so tell me, but if that would stop you from voting for him because he just say I'm gonna serve my people and stay for the country, for the city that voted for me, that is remarkable.
Well,
That
yeah,
is
it's pretty
not
ba-
anti-Semitic.
It's pretty basic. Yeah. Yeah, it's not any.
Well, so what do you say? Yes. Mm. Yeah, so you understand, like if you say like socialism is like so people basically almost stuff for like almost for nothing, healthcare and housing and education in Israel, and it's doing that with our money. That is not even socialism. That is like grand theft. Like why is my money going there to support the lifestyle of people staying in illegal settlements built on Palestinian land? That is fucking crazy, man. Right? Have you heard about something called Friends for the IDF?
Friends?
Friends of the IDF.
No.
So Friends of the IDF it's a very interesting piece of information. It is one of their biggest leaders is Haim Sabban, who is like a Jewish American who was in Egypt, by the way. He immigrated from Alexandria, and he settled in the United States. That guy is so huge in the Hollywood business. That guy owns the franchise for Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He produced so many movies for Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. That guy is big. You know that
Well, yeah, if you own Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
no, he's huge, man. Do you know that the big museum for the Oscars in Fairfax, like that's called the Sabban Building, right? That's how big this guy is. This guy is famously known for a very famous saying. He said, "I'm a one-issue guy, and my issue is Israel, not America. Israel." Right now, he every single year he throws a gala dinner for something called Friends for the IDF, and like celebrities like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Gerard Butler come there, Ashton Kutcher, and they come there and they raise somewhere between 70 and $100 million per night, tax exempt. So this is money that should have gone to charity in the United States, but it goes to a quote unquote charity to help veterans of the IDF having like better healthcare, having better education, having like better retirement plan. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, like you are actually doing tax write-off for celebrities who lived and got their money inside America to be sent to support the IDF and to support illegal settlements. It is fucking crazy, man. Right? And you know what's so crazy? Like you have people like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger who made their whole fame be doing movies, being like saving America, supporting American soldiers, and yet they don't spend a penny on American soldiers, but they send it to a soldiers of a foreign country, an army that is now known to kill people on camera. It's crazy, man. It's like you feel duped. You feel that like, where's my money is going, right?
Well, a lot of Americans I see on the internet now are, really turning on Israel. I think people are really fed up with it. I mean, they don't like how we're sending money to Ukraine, and they don't like how we're sending money to Israel. It's kind of the same thing, right? Like, why are we sending our tax money to other countries?
Yeah, but you first of all, you're sending far more money than Israel, and second of all, like at least like I don't like actually sending money to Ukraine too, but at least like all right, you're sending it to Ukraine because they're sending it against like a nuclear power like Russia, but like you are sending money to Israel to kill civilians. There's the equivalent of 6 Hiroshima bombs that were actually dropped in Gaza since the beginning of war. The equivalent, the amount of explosive power. You finance that without you having any say in it. If this is not theft, I don't know what it is. So again, I'm trying to explain to you the anger that was directed against you far exceeds the fact that you just platform Netanyahu. You're basically siding with everything that this country stands for. And many influencers like you who are having a huge platform are being used every day with these free trips to Israel in order to put makeup on a fucking genocidal regime, and in the same time you like getting the most racist tropes for Palestinians inside. I mean, that video, guys, that you did, it has 7.5 million views on YouTube. Even if October 7 didn't happen, you unknowingly were used as a part to launder their propaganda and give people and just like go into their heads and just like plant these horrible images about Palestinians. So people's like, oh, there's like a bunch of people staying in tents. It's okay to kill them. So you understand?
No, I'm just trying to digest it,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to digest. Yeah, so it's so
Fuck.
The toughest thing, like back to the starvation of the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't more other countries getting involved? and trying to do airdrops.
Well, let's talk about like. But no, first of all, you shouldn't be airdropping.
You're right, but I'm saying like
Yeah. But like,
finding
okay, let's talk about
alternative
other
solutions.
countries who try to involve.
Okay.
Any country, like who would try to do it, it's very easy to. It's like they're terrorists. They're supporting Hamas and they bomb the shit out of us. Just Egypt tried to force in. It's not to try to force because nothing goes in without Israel approval. Because let's say, for example, Egypt comes, it's like, okay, we're gonna put our stuff in. Israel was gonna bomb the convoy like they did many times, like Hamas. Because you will have many people it's like, oh, it's Hamas, it's terrorists. Once it's terrorists, you can do whatever you want, right? And the fact that like other countries are trying and cannot do anything, it just tells you how much of a fucking bully this country is. They have already bombed Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Yemen. They have bombed the West Bank, where there's supposedly not Hamas. They have killed like thousands of people there and have already like have put 15,000 people in jail in the West Bank. Nobody's talking about the West Bank. Just 2 days ago, a settler went in and killed a guy who was featured in an Oscar-winning documentary, and then the IDF came and they intimidated the rest of that guy family. You understand? This is happening on a daily basis. Imagine being a Palestinian, waking up, having like a settler who came from New York and just taking your house, kicking your people out, and if you stand against them, you kill them. You want like other countries to get involved. Who other countries to get involved? America, the strongest country in the world, is being cocked. But they're being dragged by the balls. They can't do anything because their politicians are being openly bribed by that regime, right? This is the strongest fucking country in the world, and they cannot do anything. And every time and then you have a slap on the, oh, Trump, look, Israel shouldn't do this. And they do it every, you know how many times Biden, quote unquote, like stopped the arms like shipment and then they continued? This is all performative, man. This is all performative. All of these like bullshit statements from politicians that doesn't do anything while the killing is happening. You understand? So this is where you're actually like, why is like other countries are not involved? They tried to get involved, and guess what? They were called anti-Semitic. They were called Hamas. They had like UN workers being killed because they will tell you it's UNRWA, it is Hamas. It's just like it's so fucked up, right?
It's very fucked up,
right?
But what I'm trying to understand, and what, in your opinion, how do we solve this? How do we have peace? Like everyone wants peace, but how do we?
No. How do you get peace?
Yeah.
You need
No,
to
seriously.
to get back to the root of the problem. This is a genocidal country
Yeah.
who's like
That's what I
basic,
mean, but
who's
what needs to
holding
be
your
done?
politicians who have the power with the balls.
So what needs
by
to
the
be-
balls.
what needs
well,
to be
you
done?
need to vote those fucking people out. Right? That's the I know it's not, you don't have an immediate thing, but you have like a
You're saying American politicians out?
yeah. Do you need to vote them out because these like why would you
Has
vote?
every American politician's been loyal to Israel, though,
Yeah,
right?
80% of
To the Israeli government.
what? Not Zoran. Yeah, no, Zoran. Yeah, Zoran is not. He's one of the few. Imam Dani. Yeah, like he's the few. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. If you actually stand against the tide and you say like, I'm not going to be loyal to a foreign country, being called anti-Semitic, it's crazy, right? It's like, how do you feel as an American when 80% of your representatives, all of your mayors, most of your governors are loyal to a foreign country? In any other scenario, you will call that fucking treason. Right? So you see, and I'm sorry that I don't have an immediate like answer for how to fix this because this is happening because other things has been happening for fucking years. If you have the strongest presidents in the world being blackmailed by fucking pedophile, this is crazy, man. This is crazy, right?
Fuck. Yeah.
So I understand like the heat that you got as kids. I'm sorry, you're not kids.
We're
as
not.
young men,
Yeah.
like at least you are like, but you are not an American politician who have been paid to be a fucking traitor. Your biggest mistake that you were not prepared, that you were not informed, and you didn't do enough effort in order to inform yourself. That's a big mistake. But I honestly,
Yeah.
this dwarfs next to the fucking daily treason that we see with American politicians that allows this to happen, that goes into the media and launder Israeli crimes. This dwarfs next to those fucking media people who are just mouthpieces of propaganda like Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, Megyn Kelly, all of those fuckers, right? These are like 100% propaganda pieces for a foreign country. You have been betrayed by your politicians, by your media, by many of your influencers because they are being fucking paid. Right? So, as much of a stupid stuff that you have done, for me, in my book, you guys, like, at least you are now seeing what you're happening and you're trying to make sense out of it and you're trying to educate yourself. And I hope that after this, that you would go on. I don't want you to say like, oh, we're going to go back and doing stupid shit. Guys, you need to be more involved, at least educated, right?
Yeah.
Right? And I think maybe other influencers will see this as like, okay, the next time I get this fucking invitation from Israel, no, I know what I'm stepping into. Because it's not just like an innocent trip. It is not just innocent propaganda.
Well, nothing's free, right?
What? Nothing is free,
free.
ya habibi. Nothing is free, right?
Not
So
the way the world works, right?
it is. So and again, I'm not coming here. I'm not. I told you before, guys, and I know. I just like be straight. Like those guys were fucking scared shitless when I told them I'll do it live. I gain nothing from destroying you. I gain nothing from dunking on you, right? I would actually rather deal with you as my younger brothers to understand what has been happening in front of your eyes all of that time, and maybe in the future you will make something out of it. Whether you learn or not is going to be up to you from now on.
Shit's dark.
That's just dark, man.
Do you ever get scared talking about this stuff?
Yeah. Well, I've got canceled.
we
I
need
have many of
24-hour
my
security.
shows
Can you
being
tell Gabe?
canceled.
We need 24-hour security after this one.
No. Good. Just know, which is crazy. Also, you are American. You're Canadian, and you're living in the West with the free world, the freest country in the world, and you have to worry about speaking about a foreign country. It's crazy, man. It's dark. And listen, I need to address this because, like, I feel for you, Steiny, right? And I think we should, like, I want you to actually talk and talk about how difficult it is for you being, like, because I'm sure there are like friends from you've already been hated by one side, but there are people like from your friends, your immediate community, who are actually like, or already angry. You said many times, there's nothing for me to gain from this. You said this many times, and I want you to give you the space in order to just like talk about this too.
Yeah, I just think the lack of education and stepping into something so serious was probably a mistake.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, even since the Netanyahu interview, like just the amount of stuff I've tried to consume, like it really drains. It's really draining. And the issue that I'm having too is like when you do your research, everything, it's just like so opposite. So you're
Yes.
consuming from both sides, and it's just like, which one do I believe?
Exactly.
And
So
I think that's a
I
problem.
don't think there's. I mean, to step in there with Netanyahu, it wouldn't have been even something that we could have prepared for in a week. I think in
Yeah.
our position, like
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
you got to be super qualified to do that, and I understand that.
But also, you see, what you have said is very important, that the amount of information, that the conflicting information. So instead of going, that's why I chose this. I instead of telling you this is wrong because, and this is wrong because there's evidence, instead of providing evidences, how do you deal with narcissistic psychopathic behavior? You block them. You know that everything that comes out of their mouth is a fucking lie. I just showed you that they have bribed our politicians. They harbor pedophiles. They have killed American soldiers. They have done so much bad. They have lied so many times. So there is no reason for you to believe anything that comes out of their mind, right? Okay, let me say this in the mic. So in order to provide this, and I think this is something that you can actually help in, there's going to be a button with a click for people having sources.
Are we gonna have it in the description?
Yeah,
All right, we're gonna put it in the description.
including Jewish historians, Israeli historians, so people don't say they're biased, who talk actually about the conflict and what Israel have done to those people from a Jewish point of view, who were fair, right? So you wouldn't say like, oh, just like the Arabs like doing, it's not Hamas propaganda, right? And it is there's things that I heard today, and you're saying it because you've been hearing it all your life. Like America is our biggest ally. But, the biggest naval crisis, one of the biggest naval crises outside of the Second World War was the USS Liberty. It's like a U.S. Vessel that has 34 Marines killed, and they were killed by an airstrike for Israel in 1967, right?
By Israel?
Israel, yes. You can Google USS Liberty. They are the fact that they have the kind of hurt and the kind of damage that have done to American finances, American politics, that it doesn't come from someone who you call yourself an ally. So the next time when you tell them about Israel is our biggest ally, you need to figure out why they're allies. Nothing that they do, and not an ally, not a friend would do that to us, right? There's so many. It's just like, and as you said, there's so much dark, and that at a certain point it's like, oh, you're just obsessed with Israel. Well, I am as obsessed with Israel as Netanyahu is obsessed with Hamas, because every time it's like, and it's like I remember something. It's like these people chant death to America, death to Israel. Just right now, they have their football fans going around in Europe calling to death to Arabs and fuck Gaza.
Who, what football team?
Like where's it in Romania? Yeah, the fans going out in the streets, fuck Arabs. They have the chance of fuck Arabs, fuck Gaza, fuck Palestinians, kill your. It's just like these are like a genocidal sick people, man. And and they need to be penalized and there's consequences of that shit. Anyways, I took too long, and I promised you that I'm not gonna go long. And I think there is enough
How
information
long have we
for
been
people.
going for, Judd?
It's like an hour 25 minutes.
I mean, I think this was very informative.
Yeah, an hour 10. Hour 10, you see? I
Thank
promise
you.
See?
Thank you. You've been very cool during this entire process. So I really appreciate you.
Yeah. You were, I said, like, and I promise you I'm not going to go over time. And I think there's a lot of, I think
There's a lot.
There's a lot. And
I
I think
learned a
it-
lot this week, but even just sitting here now, I learned a lot more, and there's a lot more to look into. And yeah, we have a big platform. I think sometimes we don't realize how big it is.
Yeah. And the kind of influence that you have.
We just feel like such normal guys. Like, I don't know. So sometimes we just take it for granted, I think.
Normal
But I know, but
normal
with great
guys will
power
not have
comes-
like a paid
I know.
trip to Israel.
I know. Nothing's free.
I'm just saying
Nothing's
that
free, that's for
it
sure.
is very curated. You have to understand now. Every time you hear something coming out of their mouth, you need to remember these are psychopathic liars. These are murderers. These are people who have made genocide into a fucking industry, and they're using your money to do so.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on. It was very informative, and we appreciate you. I feel like we're gonna be.
Yeah,
friends after
we're
this.
gonna work
keep
out
in touch.
once I recover from my surgery. We're gonna
When's
work
the
out in the
surgery?
gym.
When
and-
you recover from the surgery?
Yeah, if you're here next week, I might come back.
When I
and
started looking
I
into
g-
you, I told them I started searching you up, and then all I see is
Yeah.
Jack photos with your shirt
this-
off.
What I say, the T-shirt I'm wearing, this is the T-shirt for something called the Gaza Sunbirds. So Gaza Sunbirds, these are like a group of cyclists in Gaza. All of them are amputees because they were basically bombed by Israel, and this is one of the stuff that it shouldn't be normal anywhere, but it is normal in Gaza. And I was in London. I was supporting them with this movie called Doctors Under Attack, which is a documentary done by the BBC, and then the BBC bailed out because they didn't want to because it was so fucking dark. It shows how Israel is systematically killing doctors, and it's like you have three times the chance of being killed if Israel know that you're a doctor. They destroyed 36 hospitals in all of Gaza. They tortured them. They raped them. They raped male doctors in custody. It's very dark. And I sent you the documentary so you can watch it and to understand what is the other side means, right? The amputees and the Gaza Sunbirds, they were deliberately sniped by snipers with shots around their knees. If you in this area, it's like a guaranteed either a gangrene or an amputation. So they do it on purpose. And now we have like a group of people who are just amputees on bicycles. This is how bad it is. That's why I'm kind of like wearing this, because a normal activity like cycling is not normal in Gaza. There's like, I think they have the only big league where all of the soccer players are amputees. Again, they are victims of the Israel brutal killing every single day. They have people shooting little kids in their genitals. They have people that they are being taken from the streets, tortured, raped, killed. It is fucking crazy, man. And I'm telling you, that's why that video about the trip of Israel, this is like you going to Nazi Germany in 1938, a year after the war. Before the war, it is laundry, it's propaganda, and you've been used very badly, and then they don't fucking care about you. They're now letting you, like Netanyahu came in, and then they're letting you face the crowd. It's freaking brutal. And that's why I didn't want this to be another beating. I just wanted this to be a cautionary tale for people being used on the internet by Israel. That is actually the bigger picture here.
No, I appreciate just all our conversations before this too. You've been nothing but a gentleman and a good guy. And
Yeah, you see, the Israeli crowd is effectively protesting for the right to rape. They were so mad that people telling them you should not rape prisoners in custody. This is fucking crazy. This is how sick those people are. I know there's a lot to digest, a lot to do it, and yeah. Anyways,
I think I learned a lot. I think it was very educational, informative, and I think it was a good one for our first live podcast.
yeah, man.
I don't know.
Do we
I haven't
have
looked at
number?
the
Do we
chat
have like?
once, but-
Can we track people like watching and whatever? Oh, no, that's a good.
17,000 people
That's-
watching
for
live.
watching live. Okay, so I think when you put
pretty
it on
good.
tag, yeah, I think when you put it on YouTube afterwards. What? Oh, that's good. Good. So I think it's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
I haven't looked at the chat, but I felt like it was a good combo. But I guess we'll.
Well,
find
you're
out.
gonna have a lot of hate anyways.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Dude. Okay,
couple
tell me tell them what you told me. Like, what do you want to do after this? Like, dude, I just want to get out of it. I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. I feel for you, man. You haven't slept
Really
for
hard
days.
space to step into. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's really hard to get into this.
Yeah, you haven't slept for days, right?
No.
Yeah.
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 Yes, you don't need to rub it in his face. You're ready. But like I understand.
should have
but
had a fourth mic over there.
yeah. No, I understand. But like it is. I understand that like all of your life you've been told something. I mean, you were telling me something that I found it very weird. It's like, thank you, being very nice, sitting with me. When I'm Jewish, it's like, dude, you've been told all your life that you're being hated because you're a Jew. That is terrible, man.
That too, but also just the response.
No,
that I
no,
received in the
yeah,
last couple weeks.
it has nothing to do with you being Jewish, right? It is like you have been brainwashed for so many years to make you not see any way forward other than siding with those people. Again, those people, and like many Jewish people would tell you, they've been using your identity, using your religion to advance a very genocidal, evil policy. So, again, you will take your time to learn from this, and I hope this has been a learning experience for everybody watching.
Oh God,
Guys,
has
did
it
you
not?
guys learn something new today? You're happy? Good?
I learned a
Good.
lot about everything.
Good. And we will we will put the file and the sources and everything, and I hope you guys get some sleep after this.
Yeah, we
All right.
will.
Thank
Thank you, Bassem. We
Thank
appreciate
you
you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.